I swear the camera quality always changes from like video to video on this channel. Um, but yeah, okay, so I want to just, do my little thing where I talk about random Nintendo crap. So there's the big direct today, and it's pretty good. Start off with like Mario 40th anniversary stuff, which I was kind of on the fence about happening. That the whole 35th anniversary stuff from 2020 to me seemed like a company that didn't have much going on, and so kind of threw something together. Um, but apparently this is something they actually cared about. And I did actually see on I think Blue Sky, I saw a post kind of showing how they had done stuff for every fifth anniversary for the past what 20 years. So meh, I was wrong. But yeah, I was pretty convinced nothing was happening, and I'm still kind of right because I don't know. You just see people online; they're talking about like, oh, every new Super Mario Brothers game's coming together in one compilation, and Mario Odyssey 3 is coming out, and it's just like, okay, guys, come on, like that's not real. That's not happening. You're like, people get so excited about these things, and then get very mad when nothing happens. And I was kind of this time I was like on the exact opposite of that spectrum where I was expecting nothing, and so the fact that there was anything at all made me feel pretty cool. Yeah, I think this is probably the best. This was the best thing to do overall for like Mario 40th anniversary because it's the 40th anniversary. Like it's cool, but it's not like that cool. Um, and yeah, just in general, I don't think of a 40th anniversary as like needing some massive celebration. If anything, this feels like they made a Mario Galaxy movie, and they're like, well, we might as well re-release the two games on Switch. That's fine. I think it's cool to finally have Galaxy 2. I remember back when 3D All Stars came out on Switch 1, I was one of those people who was like, no, I was like, no, they're going to do it. They're going to add Galaxy 2 to 3D All Stars in a DLC update, which they did not do. And that was young, foolish me thinking that was realistic. But yeah, I remember that, so I'm pretty excited about them releasing that, and I'm I'm glad all of the 3D All Stars games will finally be playable again without needing that collection. It always bugged me that they took that away. It was pretty stupid to sell that limited time. I get it. Like I get the vibe that thing is more that sort of like release cycle is more popular in Japan. Just not something that applies well in the U.S. in the slightest. People were livid. It was like Nintendo killed people's firstborn children, which I get it. Mario Galaxy is my secondborn child, so but yeah, it's good. They've finally somewhat you know rectified themselves here. But I will say $70 for a compilation of two Mario games from the Wii is a bit much in my opinion. Um, it's funny. I was telling someone this. I was like telling some friends on Discord. It's like every time they release stuff recently, it's been like they charge $10 more than what I think is reasonable. Like I think $30 per Galaxy game is fine. Um, I feel like Welcome Tour should have been free. It was $10. I feel like the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Switch 2 editions should have been free. Those were $10. You get what I'm saying? So sticking with that, sure. At this point, that $10 in my book is just like the Nintendo tax. Um, yeah. So whatever. That aside, like pricing aside, looks cool. I've actually never played Galaxy 2. I had a Wii back in the day, but when you're a kid, you play what your parents get you, and I did not did not have. I don't even think I knew Galaxy 2 existed until pretty late into the Wii U life cycle. Like by the point I was not really looking to buy Wii U games. Um, so yeah, I never played it, and I've heard amazing things. So I'm looking forward to giving that a go. I adore Galaxy One. Um, so yeah. And what else? So there was all that. The new Yoshi game looks pretty neat. I don't know. I've never really played any of the Yoshi games beyond Yoshi's Island and Yoshi's Story. I adore Yoshi's Island. I don't really like Yoshi's Story, and I want to. Like, I really want to like Yoshi's Story deep down. Not my thing. It feels pretty half baked in a lot of ways. And this is just I did a casual playthrough a few years ago when they put it on Switch, so who knows? If I played it again, my opinions might change. But as of where we were with that, wasn't really a fan. And I've heard a lot of the Yoshi games are kind of like that. It's very hit or miss. Like I think the DS and the 3DS ones were like mediocre, like nothing offensive, just nothing special. And I feel like Yoshi's Woolly World is pretty well respected on Wii U, and Wii U and 3DS. And then I get mixed signals on Yoshi's Crafted World. I played the demo back in the day. I thought it was pretty all right. And then I remember I watched a lot of YouTube back when this was happening. I was very much so in this scene. But I watched a lot of Arlo specifically, and I remember him liking it a good bit. So I had the impression that it was a good game and people really liked it. Um, but then recently I started hearing some slander for Yoshi's Crafted World. So I'm like, oh, is that more divisive than I thought it was? Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty cool. I probably won't buy it, but it looks pretty, so that's nice. Other than that, just kind of off the dome, we got there was let's talk about the Pokemon stuff. I'm going out of order here, but let's talk about all the Pokemon stuff. So I'm a pretty big Pokemon fan. I think I'm maybe middle range in terms of the extremity of being into the series, and probably in the middle of like when it comes to like my takes on it. Yeah, I really like Pokemon, and I've enjoyed most of the games, even the stinkers. I've gotten some enjoyment out of, but what I really enjoyed, probably the game I've enjoyed the most in that series, just ever, at least since being somewhat older, was Legends Arceus. That game is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm really looking forward to Legends ZA. What I am not looking forward to is paying $30 for like a DLC pack. Which I get it. Like I can understand um, to a degree. Like I get maybe announced like this because this isn't coming out with the game, and I understand that there's like very tight schedules with this stuff, and like they can't delay ZA. Like it has to come out now because there's gonna be Gen 10 next year. Like I get that's how that works. So that's whatever I guess. But God, like $30 for DLC for a game that you already have to pay $10. Yeah, $10 for to get like the 4K 60 FPS on Switch 2. So it's $100 to get the full all inclusive Switch 2 experience. That's pretty bonkers. That said, I'm not in much of a position to complain because I do have the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, which I think is far less deserving of that money. I cannot imagine a world where ZA is less deserving of all that money than Scarlet and Violet is, and I still bought that. So it's like I don't know if I'm really in the best position to complain here. I just in general, my thing is I'm like I don't want companies to announce DLC for a game that isn't out. Like if the game is not out, don't even try to pitch me an expansion. I think it's dumb, and it makes me think it should have been in the game to begin with. So because here's the thing, okay, like I said, people, there's all those rumors GTA 6 is gonna be $100. That means GTA 6 will release at the same price as Pokemon Legends ZA if you want the full all-encompassing package. That's insane. That's crazy. It is like I love Legends Arceus. I'm sure I will love ZA. I cannot fathom it being worth that much money. Then again, can I complain because I paid $95 for all the bells and whistles in Scarlet and Violet, and I've played hundreds of hours in that game, and I will play more. I could very easily do another like 20, 50 hour playthrough, if I wanted to. Like I've by no means done everything I want to do in those games. So I don't know if I'm really in a great position to complain, but I just want to say I think that's dumb. I think that's stupid, but I'm also kind of part of the problem because I ultimately probably will end up paying that in chunks. I don't think I'll get it as soon as it's out. I'll probably wait a little bit, like I did with Scarlet and Violet. I waited like a year or so before getting the DLC because I wanted to teach them a lesson and I didn't get it at launch, so I'll probably do that again. But yeah, anyway, looks cool though, and I also think the little Pokemon Animal Crossing Minecraft thing looks neat. It better not be $60. Better not be $70. Good lord. It looks cool. I'm happy to see them doing a more traditional Pokemon spinoff. I've been kind of concerned lately that they're all doing like mobile games, like live service like spinoffs, and they've been good for what they are. Like I think Pokemon Unite, for what it is, I think is a good game. I think it's at least from the way I see it, one of the better like MOBAs. So I think it's cool. I think Pokemon Go. I mean, it's cool that's still kicking. Um, I hear Pokemon Cafe Remix has an amount of people who care about it. Pokemon TCG Pocket, I think, is really fun. I've enjoyed that a lot. There was a weekend where I got really into that. So I don't want to like crap on all the mobile games, but I'm happy to see a more traditional like Pokemon spinoff. And I think it's really funny that Koei Tecmo is developing it. Very out of left field. I would have pegged this as like something made by like probably Ilka. Ilka would have been my guess, but it's not Ilka, and you know, thank God. I guess I'm not really a big Ilka hater. I'm in the middle. I don't really care that much, but some people do. So I guess that's good for them. It looks neat. I like the little Ditto kid. That's kind of funny. Looks cool. Might pick it up. Might not. It depends on the price and what else is out at the time. Like, okay, if say I don't know, frickin' Mario Odyssey 7 comes out, I'd buy that over this weird little Pokemon spinoff. It looks cool though. So yeah. Oh, and I'm happy it's not just Gen 1 Pokemon because I was thinking that when I saw the frickin' Kanto Pokedex. But no, I saw Timber, and I saw who else? Who else was there? I saw frickin' Drillbur. So, it's a good time. So yeah, that's about it. I don't know. Um, what else was there? Metroid. I was very confused by that Metroid reveal. I straight up was not like when she was on the bike. I'm like, is this some sort of like Smash Brothers racing game? I know that's stupid. Like I know that is like not something on the table. There are way too many racing games coming out on Switch and Switch Two. I know that's not happening. It was just like my brain could not comprehend the fact that Samus on like this weird motorbike thing was in Metroid Prime 4. Like that was Prime 4. Did not compute. Um, but no, that's Prime 4, so that's cool. I am maybe a little surprised by the December release date. It makes sense because like they've not been showing off anything with that game, and it was getting weird. Like a lot of people, I feel like were early on talking about this, and I wasn't that worried. It's like okay, whatever. They'll show the release date some point. It doesn't have to be there, and I don't need to know what's coming out. Like if in August, no, sorry, April, in like the Switch Two reveal direct. Like I don't need to know all that then. But the months just kept going on. It was like we don't know when this game's coming out. There was nothing about it for months. Like all summer, there's nothing about it. And it's really weird because I was pegging this as like an August game, and August came and went. It was not there, and so it was a little weird. And so I get that it makes sense. Like it would be weird to announce the date, and it's like, oh, it's coming out October 31st. Like that's weird. I get it. Wasn't realistic. It's just kind of strange that like December 12th or whatever. I don't know. Just not how I would have pegged this. I really think. I saw there was this weird like rumor report going around that there was some sort of like late game development issue that they had to iron out, and I could believe that. Just it's strange, really strange. But then again, even if it was a late game development issue, I'm like looking at Nintendo's like schedule. There wasn't really a good place to slot it in at all in the summer. Like there was pretty substantial releases coming out all throughout then. Maybe they could have like knocked back freaking you know, Kirby Star-Crossed World or Mario Party Jamboree TV. You probably could have like you could have outshined Jamboree TV. I don't think the world would have stopped spinning if that thing didn't get much coverage. But it's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be very curious to see when this date was set. So that's cool. Looks cool. I'll probably pick that up at some point. I've not beaten the first Metroid Prime. Um, Lord knows I haven't beat 2 or 3. Also, just sidebar, I'm going off on all kinds of tangents here. I'm 14 minutes into this thing. Um, I think it's really odd that they remastered the first Metroid Prime game, and it was like the best remaster on Switch One, and then they just didn't do two and three. Like it was very to me, it felt like they're gonna just do two and three individually. Just didn't do that. And then I was like, maybe they'll come out. Like I was just like more like watered down ports, like when they started re-releasing Pikmin 1 and 2. Didn't happen. And then I was like, okay, maybe they'll throw them on GameCube, Switch Online. Maybe that could be an option, and they didn't do it at all. And so it's weird junk. I don't freaking know. This company is funny sometimes. Yeah. What else? Fire Emblem. I don't really know about that. I played a little bit of the first Fire Emblem game. The first one released in the U.S. I played a little bit of that. It's fun. It's cool. Um, Other than that, I'm thinking Tomodachi Life looks funny. Yeah, I think the bulk of my opinions were on all that Mario and Pokemon stuff. Oh yeah, Hyrule Warriors. That game looks cool. Um, it's kind of funny because I'm not sure exactly like what they're gonna do with that game from a story world perspective. Just because like I feel like there was much more to dig into. Going back on like Breath of the Wild's lore versus Tears of the Kingdoms, um, it doesn't feel like there's room, but it's just like simple things like okay, the sages don't feel like characters in the same way that champions felt like characters in Breath of the Wild. So it's like that kind of thing where it's like okay, how are we gonna characterize these people when they have like the most bland, boring designs because they are literally like background characters. They don't mean anything. There's not like they're not characters. They are just like stand-ins, right? They're like icons. They have no more personality than like you know the sages mentioned in A Link to the Past, which maybe that's intentional, whole imprisoning war BS. I'm excited though. I really liked the first Hyrule Warriors. I liked the story, which a lot of people didn't. I was a big fan of that. I thought it was a very good like side story to Breath of the Wild. And one day on like the hypothetical main YouTube channel, I would like to do a full like kind of breakdown of like I was gonna say that trilogy, but really just like all of the like Zelda of the Wild games. Um, because I do feel like there is a lot to talk about in terms of how they relate to each other. And about just like the stories. I have a lot of thoughts, but I think I'm going to save those for something else later on down the line. Um, but it looks cool. Like I'm excited. I will be getting that pretty soon after it comes out. Um, because it's a game I did not think was happening, and I'm pretty sure I've said this elsewhere. But like I remember back when Age of Calamity came out, in like an interview, the developers were like, "Oh yeah, we'd like to make another, Warriors game if it made sense." And it's like, yeah, okay, that feels like some random like just yeah, okay, sure, we'll leave it on the table. It's not gonna happen again. They're not like not really confirming anything. It didn't feel concrete to me. Like I would not have expected another Warriors game. Like I was like, okay, yeah, we're done. Age of Calamity, that's cool. But no, we're getting another, and that's fun. I think I'm a little, maybe I'm a little tired of this world by now. I almost there's this thing of like when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, I was playing it knowing this was gonna be the last game in this world, and so it meant a lot. And it kind of doesn't mean that much. Like it still does because it's still like oh, okay, this is the only time I'm gonna get to go see like Ivy, the Hetino village shopkeeper's daughter, like okay, like that kind of thing. It's like sure, last time we're going to see these specific NPCs, but it still kind of takes a little bit out of like the finality of Tears of the Kingdom. um that was such a pivotal part of what made that pivotal, I don't know, it was such an important part of what made that game special for me, and it's not going to diminish that fully. It's just I don't think it's going to hit as hard. um because I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's like as important or as meaningful as it was to go back to Breath of the Wild's world the first two times. I'm sure like I said, it'll be great. It'll be a good game. It's and I'm sure I will eat it up when it comes out. It's just not something I was really, too, I guess, eager to play. So yeah, oh, Virtual Boy, that's weird. I hope, I really do hope that you don't actually need to buy that headset. There's two options. There's like the cheap Labo looking one, and then there's like the full blown thing. Sure, I hope I really hope you don't have to have those headsets to play. They've been kind of weird in their communication lately, where like they just will say something doesn't work when it does. Good example, they said the freaking GameCube Nintendo Classics controller only worked on that app. It does not. They just weren't like it only works full. It's only like a fully functioning controller in that app, if that makes sense. But there are plenty of games you can use it in. You just might not have all the buttons. But even like 3D All Stars, they updated 3D All Stars to work with that controller specifically. So it's like, whatever. So I'm kind of hoping it's one of those things because I don't want to buy I don't want to buy a weird headset to play freaking virtual games. Like that's just whatever. It looks cool though, and I think it is probably like that's a really good thing in terms of like preserving the Virtual Boy's experience. And I do think it's cool that exists. I just am not gonna buy it. I don't think. Shoot, I don't even have any of like the freaking Switch Online controllers, and I actually want those. I don't really care about playing Virtual Boy games in the like way God intended, but it's cool. It's very cool. And I do like that all 14 of the Virtual Boys library, all 14 of those games will just be there for the masses to play. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't really think there were any like third party things that were terribly interesting to me. I thought the Dragon Quest remake looked interesting. I'm not gonna buy it. I will probably not think about it again ever, but it looked cool. I thought the art style was kind of neat. This is a whole tangent again, but I'm kind of happy it's not an HD 2D thing. I'm getting kind of tired of that. Like there's all these people who are like, guys, they should make HD 2D Pokemon remakes, and I'm just like, I don't want that. Like, just make a good 3D like art style. It's like, okay, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl weren't really lookers in a lot of cases, but it's not because 3D is bad. It's just because they did a half-assed job. Whatever. I don't know. That's up for interpretation, but yeah, I'm not a big 2D HD person. It's just I've seen too much of it. It's not as novel as it was when I was playing the Octopath Traveler demo in 2018. So we can leave that one, or just let Square Enix keep doing their thing. I don't really care. But now with that said, I think that's everything I have opinions on. So there's a 23-minute video no one will watch, and that's okay. I gotta get this out there somewhere. So yeah, that's about it.